I've already waxed verbose enough on the particulars of why I'm making these videos. So if you haven't seen any of my other Japanese learning adventure videos, you should check them out if you want some background on how I got this far and why. Also, due in part to the positive feedback on my other lesson style video, I think I'm going to continue with follow-ups to assist others in establishing a conversational base in Japanese. Instead of just updating my personal progress, I'm going to try and create the guides I needed to save me from figuring out all this shit on my own the hard way. First, two things that I forgot to mention in my last video regarding masu form and verbs was 1. There are several ways of saying things in Japanese in levels of politeness. Mas is the polite form. I think it's nice to start with because it's straightforward and safer to know as a default. 2. An important point to know about Japanese sentence structure is verbs are always at the end of sentences. So unlike English, which is subject, verb, object, I ate an apple, Japanese is subject, object, verb. Ringo o tabemashita. As with anything anyone sets out to do, whether it's learning a new language or how to play the guitar, you want to feel as though you're moving forward. The feeling of progress is a powerful motivator to keep making more progress. And when you hit those brick walls, it's easy to feel stifled and quit. So I want to introduce another quick idea that will help you express a lot with a little effort, and expand upon ideas you may already be familiar with. Wants. Everyone has something they want in life. If you're watching this, you probably want to speak Japanese, just like I do. So without further ado, I present Tai Form. If you haven't watched my masu form video, you should watch that first so you're familiar with the 3 verb groups and how they conjugate. It'll make it a lot easier to understand the concept discussed here. Everything I mentioned in my last video, you just take those augmented verbs and instead of adding mas, you add tai to make it want to. That's it. It almost seems like a joke. Like, how could it be this simple? But that's really all there is to it. For example, the verb iku, which means to go. It's a group 1 verb, which means it's an u verb. You simply change the u to e and add tai to make it ikitai, want to go. Or in this case, I want to go. The same Tai form idea applies to all the verbs. Second example, the verb taberu means to eat. It is a group 2 verb, aka a ru verb. What did I say in my last video? Ru verbs can most easily be remembered as eru, idu. Eru, idu verbs. In instances of ru verbs, if it ends in iru or eru, it's probably a ru verb. Simply drop the ru and add tai to make it want to. Taberu minus ru plus tai, tabetai. I want to eat. I want to eat. Tabetai. And with Tai form, just add desu ka to make it a question. Tabetai desu ka? Do you want to eat? And to start building your speaking abilities solely based on this video and my last video, you can tack on ikimashou, let's go, presumably to a restaurant. That's it. 2 videos deep and you're already speaking Japanese, albeit to a small extent. Here's a few more examples using both u and ru verbs. Hanasu, to speak. Hanashitai. Hanashitai. Want to speak. Neru, to sleep. Netai. Netai. Want to sleep. Naku, to cry. Nakitai. Want to cry. Wasureru, to forget. Wasuretai, want to forget. Notice the patterns? That's it. And to make it negative, all you do is knock off the last e on the tai and add kunai. So, to review again. Hanasu, to speak. Hanashita kunai, don't want to speak. Neru, to sleep. Neta kunai. Neta kunai, don't want to sleep. Naku, to cry. Nakita kunai. Nakita kunai, don't want to cry. Wasureru, to forget. Wasureta kunai, wasureta kunai. Don't want to forget. So all that said, it should be noted that there is another way of expressing want that I'll briefly touch upon here so as not to cause too much confusion. And that is Gah Hoshi desu. This works with nouns. So if, for example, you want ice cream, you would say, Watashi wa aisukurimu ga hoshii desu. Or say you wanted a cat. Watashi wa nekko ga hoshii desu. Just replace the word with any other noun for the most part, and you're good to go. And again, to change any statement into a question, you just add ka to the end of it. So in the case of the previous two examples, you drop the watashi wa, which refers to yourself, I, me, and you add ka. Aisukurimu ga hoshii desu ka? Do you want ice cream? Nekko ga hoshii desu ka? Do you want a cat? I and you is usually omitted in Japanese. But if it makes you feel more comfortable, you can phrase it, Anata wa aisukurimu ga hoshii desu ka? Do you want ice cream? Anata wa neko ga hoshii desu ka? Do you want a cat? Anata is the polite way to say you. That's it for this lesson. Again, I hope any part of this has helped you in some way, and good luck on your Japanese studies.